Welcome back to another Davison family recipe. Today we want to make creamy dill cucumber salad. It's one of my favorites, long-time family recipe. I can remember as kids, my mom would make it and I always thought she never made enough because we would just gobble it up. And now my boys, they don't love every single vegetable, but they love cucumbers and they love this salad. So now I'm making this salad a lot again. So I wanted to show it to you guys. We're going to start by making the dressing. We need sour cream, lemon juice, a little bit of sugar, salt, and dill. So the dressing is very simple. We're going to start with half a cup of sour cream. So a good half a cup of sour cream. 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Last ingredient is fresh dill. The recipe, you can either use a half a teaspoon of dried dill or you want more like a teaspoon of fresh dill. Fresh dill smells so good. So once you've stirred your dill in, then we're going to let this sit for a few minutes while we prep the rest of the cucumbers. This recipe calls for field cucumbers, and these days most of us are used to seeing English cucumbers. You can now get English cucumbers all year long in the grocery store, and they're actually quite consistent in flavor, and it's because they're grown in a greenhouse, so they're quite uniform as well. That's what we're used to seeing. This recipe calls for field cucumbers, which is a slightly different product. In season, it is absolutely delicious. They're very sweet, they're very juicy, and you'll see as soon as you cut into them, they just fill your whole kitchen with this fresh smell. And there's really nothing like it. Them compared to an English cucumber in season is just unreal. The skin on a field cucumber is thicker than on an English cucumber, so you really do need to peel it. So that's our first step, is to peel a cucumber. I cut the ends off, and then what I want to do is just slice the cucumbers really thin. This is another kind of deviation that I do from the original recipe. Probably, if I'm completely honest, it's because I'm usually in a hurry, usually thinking about supper last minute, which is why I like this recipe. In the original recipe, it says cut up the cucumbers, salt them, and then put them in your fridge for 3 hours. What that does is it pulls the moisture out of the cucumbers, and then you drain the cucumbers, or the moisture out of them at that point. The advantage to doing that is that your salad isn't quite as runny that way. The disadvantage is that your cucumbers lose their crispness. I like the crispness, and I also like the convenience of doing it right before supper. So I just skip that step. I make my dressing, I cut my cucumber, I've cut one, I'm gonna put some salt on it. And this really is just salt to taste. I mean, you kind of want to probably have, I don't know, a 1/4 teaspoon or something. The original recipe, again, it calls for a full teaspoon of salt. But again, that's because you're gonna drain it off, whereas now I'm not draining it off. So I'm gonna cut that way back, and I'm just gonna put it on right before I serve it. As soon as the salt gets onto the vegetables, onto the cucumbers in this case, it starts to pull the moisture out of the veggies, which is convenient when you're trying to make a salad or a pie or something, because you wanna draw a little bit of that out to mix it. In this case, we're just gonna put it on right before. Into the bowl they go. And again, I'm going to put a little bit more salt on it, on this top layer. Give it a little bit of mix. My dressing is ready. It's had a few minutes to sit. Pour this on top. Stir it in. So because I've just sprinkled on the salt, I'm going to taste this before I serve it, and then I can add a little bit more salt if I need. Just going to put a little bit of garnish because I happen to have it on top, just to finish the salad off. And there you have it. That is our Davison family recipe of creamy dill cucumber salad. If you found this video helpful today, then just press like and subscribe for more videos.